Hi, I want to welcome you to Live, Laugh, and Lori. My name is Lori, and today is going to be the first day on your journey to change your life. I've been trained as a life coach since 2017, but it didn't come about naturally. Let me tell you, the reason I became a life coach is because I desperately needed one, and I didn't know what to do. I'm telling you, I was at one of the lowest points that I've ever been at in my life. And let me tell you, there have been a lot of low points in our life. But it was a point where I was completely out of control, did not understand what was happening, and could not deal with the fact that I had no control over everything. And I got to the point that I was sitting in my car. I had my phone. I did like a goodbye video to my husband. I was sitting in a park. I had pills with me. I had water, I thought, although I had been drinking for a while. And finally, I had been drinking water for a while I sat there crying. And finally, I just decided this is it. I can't handle it anymore. And so I decided to take the pills to take my life. Unfortunately, at the time, but fortunately for me, there wasn't enough water left in the bottle by the time I was ready to actually take the pills. And so in my brain, it was like, look at this, I can't even kill myself right. But at that point, and with a lot of prayer, I will say, I knew that I had to get myself and my life under control. So I went home and I started digging into the internet. And by this point, it was pretty well the middle of the night. And luckily, I found life coaching. That night, I studied and I studied and I studied. And by the next morning, I will tell you that my life had completely done a flip-flop. And I suddenly had hope. Now, is this going to happen to everyone? Absolutely not. But for me, it was what I needed at that time. And I will tell you that it has completely changed my life since then. I am a much happier person than I was. And life coaching is something that everyone can use. And really everyone needs at some point in their life. It's just that a lot of times people have resources within their own home or within their own life, and people that are able to ask the important questions that a life coach is going to ask. So, what is a life coach? Well, sometimes people think that it's like a therapist or a consultant, and it's not. It's very, very different from that. So a life coach is a partner that works with you, that helps hold you accountable. They're a source of encouragement for you. They ask the right questions to make you discover the right answers for what you need in your life. It's a partner to brainstorm with you, to help come up with possible solutions for problems. But it's not someone, again, that's going to give you therapy, that's going to solve your problems for you. It's someone that goes along the journey with you and helps you discover things. They're also a guide to help you achieve your goals and to actually have permanent change in your life that will improve your life on a daily basis. Now, a life coach is not someone that you go to just to complain about the problems that you have in your life. They're not someone that's going to feed into a victim mentality and help you stay there, but they're going to be someone that's going to help you change your perspective to get out of that victim mentality. They're not a shoulder to cry on in life's difficult moments, although sometimes that does happen in sessions. A life coach is not a trained therapist or counselor that's going to help you identify and heal the causes of emotional illnesses or emotional trauma. Now, people will typically hire a life coach when they're at a point in their life that they just don't know how to move forward. Maybe it's emotionally, maybe it's in a relationship, maybe it's in your career. There are lots of different things. Maybe you've had a tragic past and it has you so sucked down that you can't find your happiness again. Or maybe you're at a point in your life where you now have no children at home and you're wondering what's next. All of these are things that can be helped through life coaching. And the greatest thing is you don't have to pay for it here. Now, people ask, why am I not charging for this and why am I doing it on the internet? Well, when I needed it, I couldn't afford life coaching. And I needed someone that could walk me through the stages. But again, I didn't have the money for it. And so what I discovered was that I needed to find the training. And throughout my life, this is kind of how I've achieved all of my goals. When a crisis came up and I didn't have the resources to fix it on my own, and I didn't know where to go for help, I found help. And actually, that's why I've written a couple of my books. Now, I'm not here to sell you my books, but if you want to find them, they are on Amazon. I have one called Salting Oats and Planting Carrots, which is an educational model. I have one called The Trauma Lens, which is actually really good for people who have lived through a life of trauma and they don't exactly understand how it affects your brain and your responses and reactions to things. Or if you're dealing with children who have a history of trauma, it's a great, easy to understand book. And I also have a children's book that's called A is for Animals, which was actually written to help a kindergartner learn his ABCs. So like I said, I tend to take problems in life and come up with solutions and then share them with everybody. So let's get back to life coaching. I really want to do this for free, but in order for it to work for you, you're going to have to do your part. So the first thing we're going to do today is we're going to start making your wish list. And people are like, well, what's a wish list? Well, we all kind of know what our immediate wishes are, but I want you to look farther into your life. What are your actual things that you would love to have if money were no object, if the situation that you are in right now were not here? What would you want for your life? And I want you to really dream big and really think out there throughout your life. This doesn't have to be something that we're going to be able to accomplish this year. Maybe it's going to be 10 years down the road. Maybe it's how you want to retire. I will say that retirement came a whole lot sooner than what I thought it was going to. I, wanted to be retired and now I am. And I'm 58 years old and I don't feel like I'm old enough to be retired. But I'm at one of those points in my life where I'm needing to reinvent myself again because I am newly retired. And so that will be another thing that this channel is going to do is how to reinvent yourself when you're kind of stuck in that rut and you want to do something different. But that's not where we're at today. Today, we are just at the beginning steps. So the first thing you need to do is make your wish list. Now, I say that if money were no object, things were no object, then just let your mind go free. The caveat to this is, let's say you really, really want to be a professional basketball player, but you're 30 years old and it doesn't matter how hard you try, you can never put the ball in the basket. Probably not going to be something that I can help you with. But you know what? There are other things that you could do with sports if sports is your love. So dream big, but we may have to narrow it down just a little bit if you're a little bit out of scope of what we can actually accomplish because of the skills that you have. So this is about where we're going to end on this video. I will go ahead and record the very next one so that as soon as you are finished with this, you can move on to the next step. But I don't want you to move on to the next step until you have actually done this thing. It's a very key component to figuring out ultimately what motivates you and what it is that's at the root of the things that you want. And this is the part that amazed me that first night when I actually did it. And then I looked at my results the next day. It absolutely blew my mind because I discovered so much about myself that I had never realized before. So I hope you've enjoyed this today, learning a little bit about what life coaching is. If you think this is something that could help you, please subscribe so that you can find out when all of my videos are coming out. My hope is to have a life coaching video come out at least once a week, if not twice a week, depending on how my life is going at the time. So again, do this one thing. Take 5 minutes and just dream and dream big. And then we're going to see how I can help you reach those dreams. So dream big and have a blessed day. I look forward to talking to you in the next video. And if you have any questions or comments, put them down below in the comment section. Bye-bye.